Good afternoon and evening, everyone. It is David Schlotthauer here in the Weather Center, keeping an eye on your weather forecast for this Friday evening into Saturday, as we're keeping an eye on a pretty big system hitting California tomorrow morning, lasting through Monday, and we're going to keep an eye on that cold Arctic air for the northern tier of the United States. Now, if you are new to the YouTube channel and you really like the detailed weather content, please consider subscribing if you're new, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with your family and friends on social media. Also, if you want to be part of the Weather Force Discord server today, there's a link in the description below this video. So taking a look at your current weather forecast happening right now across the entire United States, and we can see with what we have going on right now, the first thing you may notice is we have a lot of dust blowing up in the air in the central high plains. That is part of a very strong pressure gradient. So you're getting a dust storm. The winds are very strong, gusting over 65 miles an hour in this area, part of that low pressure system that is quickly moving over the Great Lakes or quickly moving towards that region. We have a strong, nice high over here across the eastern half of the U.S., bringing calmer weather. There's not a lot of wind to speak of, but the winds will be picking up by tomorrow. And then, of course, California is getting ready for another couple of inches of moderate to heavy rainfall. Could see snow amounts up to 2 to 3 feet in some areas for the higher elevations. This will also impact the Pacific Northwest with more rain and more stormy weather. Now, when we take a look at the latest National Weather Service watches, warnings, and advisory for your specific location, we can see there is a lot of wind products. We got high wind warnings and wind advisories for the upstate New York region, including for Buffalo, New York, Watertown, New York. We got wind advisories for all of Michigan, stretching across the high plains with high wind warnings and fire weather warnings. So this is a very windy, energetic system that is moving across the central portion of the country. We got winter storm advisory, winter weather advisories, we should say, for portions of Dakotas and Minnesota, with wind chill advisories. Yeah, just about anything up there. Some colder air coming in out of Canada, going to be sinking its way further south. That's going to bring in some very cold wind chill values as low as negative 25 to negative 30. And then, of course, over here in California, there are freeze warnings, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories. This is just about everything you need to have with a storm system hitting California, but we do need it. We need the precipitation, and we are going to get it here locally. So a very active weather scene right now across the Great Lakes region, the Midwest, and also for California. So let's time this out now on our European global computer model. This is basically a simulation of what may happen in the future. So just keep that in mind when you all are watching my videos. If you've noticed these videos in the past, you'll notice the weather does change with each progressing day. So just take this with a grain of salt. But since we're about 24 hours out here, or less than that, this is likely to pan out. So we're talking about moderate to heavy rainfall if you're in the deep south, if you're in portions there of Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, if you're in West Virginia, if you're in Pennsylvania, we're looking at some light to moderate rainfall as this cold front sweeps its way through. We're even talking a little bit about snowfall up here in northern Michigan with that lake effect kind of going on. So some strong winds coming off the lake. You're going to get some lake effect snow out of that. And then, of course, over here if you are in Quebec and Ontario, Canada, we're looking at some light to moderate snowfall, part of that surface low as it moves out into the region, and then that will bring in drier weather. But watch this down here in California. Atmospheric river is back in town, and that's going to really focus a lot of the rainfall. So throughout the day tomorrow, we're looking at increasing shower chances and cloud cover with moderate to heavy snowfall in the higher elevations of the Sierra there. Light to moderate rainfall in California in itself. Lesser wind with this. We're not dealing with a lot of wind with this system coming in. And then, of course, for the desert Southwest, light to moderate rainfall is going to be getting tapped in because of that subtropical moisture that is going to be in place. And then the rest of the country looking pretty quiet as soon as that quick moving surface low moves out of the region. That will be followed by quiet weather by Sunday and Monday for much of the country, with more snow chances over the Intermountain West, including for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, just keeping things kind of showery and unsettled through Monday, even through Tuesday, as that surface low kind of just hangs around. More snow continuing over the Colorado, the Utah region through Monday and Tuesday, with another system going to be setting up shop here over Tennessee, over Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio. If you're in northern Mississippi, if you're in northern Alabama, northern Georgia, the Carolinas, you're talking about another subtropical feel-like system, kind of warmish, not too cold, and you're looking at that rainfall that's going to be coming down. Still a little bit of snow chances there for northern Michigan as that system moves through, and then you get another break. But look at this whole fetch of moisture is going to be locked and loaded here over the Tennessee area, over if you're in the Arkansas area, if you're in Kentucky. Wow, it's just going to be raining there quite a bit for much of this coming week. It's not going to let up at all. You're going to be continuing to see more rain showers, more gusty winds at times as that system develops. But quiet weather back west, thank goodness, until we get another system moving into the Pacific Northwest by Thursday. So everything is just going to kind of be just kind of stationary here. A lot of the active weather here and much of the active weather back here in California and the Pacific Northwest through much of this week. And then another system wants to kind of graze Northern California. We'll have to see on how that all pans out down the road. If we look at previous model runs, oops, not that, we can see that models can change quite a bit. Looks to be a little wetter scenario now for Northern California as of the 12Z run. That continues. Showers just kind of stay there, just stay north of California, with maybe a pretty decent snowstorm for Pennsylvania, for New York by the end of the model run. But of course, these models are going to change. This is not going to be your same scenario setup like we could see, because there's a lot of variability, there's a lot of uncertainty in regards to how this system right here is going to be setting up. That's why I'm not spending a whole lot of time at talking about this, because if I did, people would take me pretty seriously. But either way, maybe some inclement weather by the end of the model run forecast, just depending on how things do set up. But there's a lot of variability right now with that evolution. So now, how much rainfall, or in this case, it is rainfall. So how much water could you get accumulated in your region? Well, right now, all the way from northern Texas, so in this little stretch, there could be quite a bit of accumulation of rainfall. From northern Texas into Oklahoma, probably as much as 1 to 3 inches of rainfall through the next 10 days. If you're in Arkansas, Tennessee, anywhere between 4 to 8 inches of rainfall. But again, take this with a grain of salt, please, because these models are going to change. 0Z run from before showed a little bit more rainfall, probably like 8 to almost 10 inches of rain. The run before that showed a little lesser. So there is some variability here as far as who is going to get how much. All right, but either way you put it, it's going to be pretty wet and pretty soggy much of this work week coming up. And then, of course, if you're in the Northeast, about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall are possible. And then, of course, for the Pacific Northwest, where the rain and the wet weather loves it most, in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, could get as much as 4 to 8 inches of rainfall. So that is good news. And yeah, that's great news to hear. And then, of course, your precipitation anomaly forecast well above average, historically speaking, for portions of the Ozarks and the Appalachians, including for Tennessee and Kentucky, with near average to slightly above average rainfall totals potentially over the next 10 days for the western half of the U.S., like out across the Pacific Northwest and the west coast of California, looking to get nice and wet out there. Now, how much snowfall could you see? Well, right now, quite a bit of snowfall for the Intermountain West, anywhere between 1 to 3 feet of snow, then as much as maybe a foot or so of snow for the Great Lakes, for the Northeast, As you know, I'm not being too detailed on this because this is combining the next 10 days. So there's not really any substantial winter storm that I'm focusing on. It's just a generalized forecast. So that's why I'm kind of going through a portion of this video rather quickly, since again, this is going to change with time, but you can see quite a bit here and quite a bit here of incoming snowfall through the middle of December. So now let's take a look at with what our temperatures are going to look like. Everyone's probably curious about that. We'll use this sector here. Okay, it says Saturday. I want to actually, you know what? Let me use this. That would be better. Okay, so now looking at your minimum temperatures for Saturday morning, it is going to be cold. That's all I gotta say. Just cold, simple, okay? Really chilly for Saturday morning, all the way from Oklahoma into Missouri into Illinois. Look at these temperatures up here. In portions of Utah, temperatures may be getting down into the single digits. Negative territory temperatures in Wyoming, in portions of Idaho, Montana. Look at this. Temperatures -9 to -10 degrees to start off your morning hours. If you're in Billings, if you're in Fargo, North Dakota, going to be cold. So really allow some extra time if you're doing anything outdoors. It is going to be warm. But by Saturday afternoon, your temperatures will warm up nicely there. Temperatures warming up into the teens, maybe hanging on to some single digits here for the northernmost portion of Minnesota for your Saturday afternoon. Really nice and warm down here with temperatures in the 60s and 70s, close to 80 degrees. Actually, that is 80 degrees down there in Miami, Florida. So a huge different flavor of temperatures. Too warm down here, probably calling it too cold up there in the northern U.S. This is going to be a carbon copy. By Sunday morning, cold again, temperatures in the teens and single digits to start your morning. However, we're probably going to get rid of the negative temperatures for portions of the Dakotas and Montana for Sunday morning. Warming up even more, temperatures in the mid-20s by Sunday afternoon. So warmer air advection is going to return, and that's going to allow temperatures here across the Midwest to at least warm up nicely into the mid to upper 40s, low 50s if you are in Texas, and maybe getting close to the 70s and 80s in the deep south, including for the southeast. Still remaining a little chilly for California with temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s. So the Climate Prediction Center says this is what they're calling for as far as these temperatures go. I want to make sure I have the right sector. Okay, I do. This is the one that I really need to use. So the next 6 to 10 days, you can see below average temperature chances for California, and then above average temperature chances if you're in the deep south. We're looking at 50 to 70% there if you're in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. So you're likely to see temperatures above average through mid-December, and then likely below average across the Intermountain West, including for the Pacific Northwest through December the 12th. Rainfall and snowfall, depending on where you're at, is above average for California and Nevada. Woohoo! We love it. A lot of us in the Rocky Mountains, including Diana, you're probably staring at this map and like, wow, we're in the green for once, but only slightly. You're leaning above average there if you're in Utah, Colorado, Salt Lake City, and then if you are in, say, the Midwest, like Missouri, you're leaning above, or you're likely above average with those chances of rainfall. In this case, most likely rainfall since there's going to be warm air advection. Below average chances, though, for the next 8 to 14 days through December the 16th will continue over California. It's been a cold one. I mean, not just to start off December, but really the entire month of November has been below average, literally. And we will continue that theme into the middle of December with below average chances, including for the eastern half of the U.S., going to cool down nicely. And then for the deep south, leaning above chances with those temperatures. And same thing, slightly above, leaning above from California into the Intermountain West, into the Central Rockies and the High Plains, the Great Lakes, and the Midwest, all looking at near normal to leaning above average with the rainfall or snowfall. All right, and then leaning below precipitation-wise for Florida and the Georgia region. All right, well, if you guys enjoyed the video, just let me know how you thought of it. Leave comments below this video, hit the like button, and share this video with their family and friends on social media. Be sure you do subscribe, though. It really, really, really helps out. I love you guys with all my dear heart. I like making these videos for you all, and I will keep it up for days to come. But since there's really not a lot to even track on, I will probably skip tomorrow. We'll have to see on how that pans out. Maybe I'll surprise you all with a short video, but really just not a lot of crazy weather madness going on these days. But I will keep you updated here on my YouTube channel when anything changes that could surprise you as a viewer. But thank you all for watching. I love you guys a lot. Check out our Weather Force Discord server. You cannot miss it. It is right here. Okay, I love you guys, and peace out!